Just so everyone knows as well that we are recording this bidders conference webinar that will then later be accessible to go back and review. Again, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Brandon Butler. I'm the Deputy Assistant Secretary for the Division of Workforce Development and Adult Learning at Maryland's Department of Labor, and will be your tour guide for this little excursion as we had a number of applicants provide some questions, and so we're going to provide some feedback and hopefully some clarification today. So again, let's hit the next slide here. Today's agenda will be providing an overview of the competitive grant proposal and how it relates to our initiatives as we are implementing the Federal Workforce Innovation and Opportunity Act. We're going to go over the menu of strategies, the eligible applicants, because there were some questions about that, the application itself, and some key deadlines. As you all know, or if you have been a part of the workforce system over the last 2 years, we have within the state workforce plan that was presented and approved by Governor Hogan and then ultimately approved by our federal partners, we have put forward a plan that puts people before performance in so much that we are looking to drive a system that addresses individuals' barriers to employment while placing them in meaningful education and employment opportunities. What that means in short is that we are leveraging the opportunities that we have both within adult education and our workforce partners and driving home that building that bridge between Title II, Adult Education and Family Literacy Services, and Title I, Adult in Dislocated Worker and Youth Programs, driving home the best that we can to address the needs of our common customers. That means that we are increasing the earning capacity of those common customers, both in Title I and Title II. So we believe that co-enrolling makes perfect sense, and not only makes perfect sense, but the system is best, our customers are best served in doing so. So here is the competitive grant proposal that we put out that you all have, I'm sure, reviewed multiple times and hopefully are really thinking about driving home the partnerships that you have created both in the local plans, in the MOUs, and the resource sharing agreements. So the purpose of this competitive grant proposal is to seek innovative proposals and to go back to our friend Dan McDermott and or Kirk Murray. When can we start innovating? Well, here's an opportunity. We are seeking innovative proposals, again, innovative proposals from local workforce development boards to develop a career pathways demonstration project to, again, increase the co-enrollment of students in Title I and Title II. These demonstration projects will implement the intervention selected from a menu of strategies. We'll go over that in a second. And again, it's to drive home the partnership that Title II adult education and Title I workforce entities will have been making through the process of planning and MOU and resource sharing that has happened over the past year. So again, we are putting, DWDAL is putting out this proposal. We are issuing the grants, $1 million in available funding. That is through the governor's set-aside funds. Again, that is a project, that is something that we have outlined in the state plan that we would be providing funds out of the set-aside for innovative projects. And we believe that this is the first in a few, actually, projects that we will be funding out of the governor's set-aside. Again, we will consider projects up to $250,000 per project. And again, that is at the discretion of the department. But we have allocated $1 million in grant funding. The eligible applicant, and this has been a question that has frequently come up, and so let's set the record straight. The eligible applicant in this situation is the local workforce development board. We have 12 of them, and presumably we'll have 12 proposals. These are reimbursable funds. And again, the local workforce development board must be the lead applicant in this. Now, as these programs progress, that may be different in each, or how that program is carried out, how that intervention or demonstration project may be carried out may be different in each local area. In some local area, it may be the Title II provider that is the driver. But for lead applicant status, for this project to be considered, it must be, the lead applicant must be the local workforce development board. A career pathway. A career pathway is a defined term within the Act itself. It is in Section 3, subsection 7, and there is the definition as provided under the statute. It is a career pathway is a combination of rigorous and high-quality education, training, and other services that align with skill needs of the industry, of the economy of the state or regional economy, prepares an individual to be successful in any full range of secondary or post-secondary education opportunities. It includes counseling to support an individual. It also includes, as appropriate, education offered concurrently with and in the same context as workforce preparation activities. It organizes education and training. It enables the individual to attain a secondary school diploma or a recognized equivalent, and at least one recognized post-secondary credential, and it helps an individual to enter or advance within a specific occupation or occupational cluster. Again, that is not something that the state has just arbitrarily came up with. That is what the statute says. So the development of a career pathway may be an evolving process throughout this project. You may come in with a fantastic idea and great, good on you, but you may also have up to 6 months of a planning process to during this performance, the performance under the period under the grant. Again, you may have an idea that is solidified, or this may be a process of planning that a local area can, once they're awarded, can take up to 6 months to get off the ground. A career pathway, and I cannot stress this enough, a career pathway does not always have to start with obtaining a high school diploma or the equivalent. What we have been told by our partners that are Title II entities is that sometimes career pathways models sometimes overlook that individual that really does need that extra step, extra hand to be placed onto a career pathway. And so again, career pathways do not always start with having a high school diploma or an equivalent. And an individual may begin working in an industry occupation that does not require a high school diploma or an equivalent as a start on his or her career pathway. Again, if we are going back to that motto of people before performance, this is an opportunity, a demonstration project for local areas to really hammer home that thought, to really be able to address the needs of their populations that are quote unquote hardest to serve, or those with multiple barriers to employment. So this is your chance, and the state is providing funding to really hopefully come out with some very innovative models. An industry recognized credential. This is another question that we got. There is no comprehensive, all-inclusive list of all recognized post-secondary credentials. As a matter of fact, I would be very cautious to really, if WIOA had the end-all be-all list. But they do have within the definition section of the statute, it's in section 3, subsection 52, a definition of a recognized post-secondary credential. And that credential is a credential consisting of an industry recognized certificate or certification, a certificate of completion of an apprenticeship, which, by the way, happy National Apprenticeship Week, a license recognized by the state involved or federal government, or an associate or baccalaureate degree. In short, we can, if we're going to create a program just for the sake of creating a program, or we can manufacture a certificate, but if it's not recognized by the industry, if it is not something that industry wants and or needs, then we would be throwing good money into bad. We must have, I am sure we will be looking at making sure that there is a strong association with businesses at the table to make sure that these people are leaving with an industry recognized credential or certificate. Okay, menu of strategies. So these are the strategies that we outlined and provided a very in-depth list of strategies that a local area can choose from. And I also would be remiss to say, if you have not seen the Annie E. Casey Foundation's webinar on the menu of strategies, they provided a wealth of information, as well as our own Natalie Clements did a fantastic job of putting together multiple links that you can utilize in developing your career, your menu of strategies for this Career Pathways Demonstration Grant. I would say that if you haven't looked at the Casey Foundation's webinar, I know there was an email that went out on Friday from Paul, as well as there is a link to that webinar included in a resources slide at the end of the PowerPoint once I am done talking. So for this intervention, for all the intervention strategies, it is required to incorporate a Title II presence at the AJCs. I hope that that's not news to you, because quite frankly, I have seen all of you, all of your MOUs and all of your resource sharing agreements. So there must be a Title II presence. Again, Title II being adult and dislocated, or the adult education presence at the American Job Center. This could mean either, or mean at a comprehensive site or at a satellite location. However, the presence must be a physical in-person presence. It's not just a handoff. This is not. It must be a physical presence in the American Job Centers. Information and referral. Just having information and referral to adult education does not fill this requirement. We believe that that is a very big component of this co-location strategy, is to make sure that the Title II entity has a presence in the American Job Centers, because they are a vital part of ensuring that a career pathways model is really fleshed out in the center. There are some questions about the intervention strategy of the transition support specialists. Some of the local Title II providers, and particularly I'm going to give a shout out to Anne Arundel Community College and BCCC. They have already incorporated this intervention. There was a question that was posed to us about whether there was a job description of these transition specialists, and I would say, again, AAWDC and BCCC have already went down this path. that if you have any questions regarding what that would look like, a transition specialist would look like, I would suggest reaching out to those folks because they have already been down that path. If you are interested in the strategy, then we would suggest reaching out to them for a sample job description, lessons learned, and all of that particular information. So I've already hit this, but I'll hit it again. To be eligible for this co-enrollment project, participants must meet the Title I eligibility requirements, including being work authorized. This is something that has, quite frankly, is a difference in the statute between Title I and Title II. Title I requires work authorized status. Title II under the Act is silent and does not require such. But if we're going to drive home co-enrollment between Title I and Title II, that is a necessity for the purpose of this grant opportunity. Reporting requirements, everybody's favorite topic. Co-enrollment is, again, a major portion, requirement, and goal of this funding opportunity. Thus, reporting both in the LACIS system for Title II and the Maryland Workforce Exchange is necessary. The Maryland Workforce Exchange requires that data be entered in a timely fashion, and that means within 14 calendar days. Again, let me go over that again, because I don't want this to be any ambiguity in this. Co-enrollment is a major portion, requirement, and goal of this funding opportunity. Thus, reporting in both LACIS and the Maryland Workforce Exchange is necessary, and requires that the Maryland Workforce Exchange in particular requires that data be entered within 14 calendar days. While multiple Title II adult education sites may implement a intervention under the demonstration project, each of the adult education sites will be responsible for reporting its students in LACIS. For example, a project in Baltimore City could utilize multiple Title II sites and partners, as there are multiple partners, Title II recipients in Baltimore City. Each site will be responsible for reporting its students in LACIS. So therefore, BCCC would be responsible for their students. South Baltimore Learning Center would be responsible for theirs. This project may also, and thank you to Melissa Desi. The data entry requirements for LACIS is to enter hours at least monthly. So again, that is a big requirement. Data entry requirements for LACIS still remain the same. That is to enter the hours in at least monthly basis. So if you're so again, MWE data must be entered within 14 calendar days. The LACIS data must be entered entered in hours LACIS hours must be entered on an at least monthly basis. If you could do it within 14 days too, I'm sure we would all be appreciative of that. This project may complement the Consolidated Adult Education and Family Literacy Services grant funds. So again, it may complement the Consolidated Adult Education and Family Literacy Services grant funds for the educational components. For example, integrated education and training, integrated English literacy and civics education, and the like. The grant funds through the Consolidated Adult Education and Family Literacy Services could be used for the educational components. These activities would also, again, be reported in LACIS. Next slide here. I've mentioned this before, but let's again, to beat a dead horse, all local workforce development boards in the state are eligible to apply, and that is the requirement. Again, the local workforce development boards must be the lead applicant in this process, and so it is incumbent on partnerships, again, for the lead applicant to be the local workforce development board. DLOR will only accept one application per local workforce development board. So there is a potential of up to 12 applications that the state would receive because we have 12 local workforce boards. A local workforce board may not submit an application per Title II site. Instead, the board may submit one application for one program. Under this scenario, back to Baltimore City, not to pick on Mary Sloat because I know she's on the phone on the call, but Baltimore City MOED cannot submit more than one application for all of their multiple Title II providers. Multiple Title II sites may implement the intervention strategy under one grant. So we could, for instance, Western Maryland can work together with their providers, and all being that it is a multi-county program, can, and hopefully we would love for that to affect all of the all 3 counties in that area, Garrett, Allegheny, and Washington County. But that would be done under one grant utilizing up to $250,000. Next slide here. Application collaboration. The local workforce development board applicant may provide services in collaboration with a local or regional consortium with the following recommended types of members. Somebody from the local workforce development area utilizing the WIOA Title I, the Title II adult education provider, the sponsor of a registered apprenticeship program, and again, dare I say, happy registered or National Apprenticeship Week, representatives from industry and business, and community-based organizations. This could be community services block grant this could be a local DSS, Department of Social Services. This could be a faith-based organization. This could be a community action entity. Again, we're not going to be prescriptive as to who should be a part of these collaborations because, again, taking a look at all of your MOUs, you have a number of partnerships because they make sense in your local area. But the requirement here is that there needs to be a collaboration, at minimum, a collaboration between the local workforce Title I entity through the local board, again being the lead applicant, and a Title II adult education provider. Again, this project must be conducted in collaboration with the recipient of those Title II funds because, again, we're trying to drive home here co-enrollment. So you had a number of attachments. I hope that this all shows, again, that we're trying to look for innovative ideas, but we're also trying not to nail you down with a bunch of paperwork. We had a number of attachments. Attachment 1 was the proposal narrative. Attachment 2 was the budget proposal. You can fill out and submit Attachment 1 and the budget tab for Attachment B. Attachment A includes a question on the projected total number to be served. This competitive grant proposal is requesting that applicants negotiate performance. So again, we're not trying to tell you what to do. we will be looking at all of these performance requirements, but to have this is going to be a negotiation process regarding performance, again in true demonstration project fashion. Applicants are expected to determine how many adult learners will be served according to their chosen intervention strategy, as well as the amount of funds requested. The negotiation will also determine the cost per participant, or cost per student/participant. The proposal narrative also asks for a sustainability plan. Essentially, what this is asking for is how will the project be maintained or sustained after the completion of the demonstration project. This is not just to go after a grant just to seek additional funds. This is to move the needle to develop strategies around how Title II and Title I can be developed, how that relationship can be developed and even after grant funding goes away. We'll be really taking a look at this. Again, this is based on the concept that a good idea is a good idea is a good idea, whether or not there are grant funds behind it. Again, we have asked you to address these in your state or in your local plan. I know you've done so. We've read them all. We've read them all multiple times. And so we really want to make sure that we're going to partner with local areas and local workforce boards that are really serious about building this relationship between Title I and Title II. So next steps. You should be convening stakeholders for this project. Again, the local workforce development board, Title II provider, registered apprenticeship sponsors if it makes sense, employers, industry representatives, community-based organizations, partners that should have been sitting around your table before. Here's your opportunity to bring them back together if you aren't meeting on a monthly basis, and really focusing on the next steps. I hope that this has not had anybody shy away from this project. We put out $250,000. We wanted to make this a big deal. We wanted to put money, a large amount of money out there because we here at the department and reading your local plans again, I know that this is a big deal for you. It is a big deal for us. We need to make this happen. Applications can be submitted by mail or email. There is the email address, the long WIOA DLOR email address. There is no preference that is given. However, if you are mailing in those submissions, that submission must be received, not postmarked, received by December 15th. Applications received after December 15th, the close of business on December 15th, will not be considered, period. So please let me reiterate that. Applications can be submitted via mail or email. There's no preference. However, if you are submitting by mail, there is no, to borrow the legal term, there is no mailbox rule. You will not get 3 extra days. You will not get, just because something is postmarked does not mean it must be at the department by December 15th, close of business. Any applications received either via email or by mail after that date will not be considered for funding. So there's the timeline that we are going to be held to. Again, applications are due by close of business on December 15th. A selection announcement will be made January 12th, and the start of the performance period will be March 1st. This is a 2-year project, again, with that 6 months of planning and 18 months of performance accounted for. And let me just say again, this is going. We are looking to be strategic in our investments of the governor's set-aside funds. This will be the first of many various grant proposals that we have put out or that we have in the works to provide. So if you didn't get it this funding round, there are going to be other projects, other interventions that we are going to be testing in the weeks and months to come. And here are the resources. Again, the Annie E. Casey Foundation webinar. If you happen to miss it, the streaming recording link and the downloadable PowerPoint are available at those links, as well as the Career Pathways grant. The Career Pathways grant proposal is available on the website. If you happen to find it in your email and then go, oh, good Lord, I have hundreds of emails coming in the course of a day, and you can't seem to find it, it's there on our website. I also want to give a particular shout out to our technical document that has a number of, we read WIOA, so you don't have to. We have a number of definitions and technical definitions that is within the technical document. We are also, there is a link to the state workforce plan. By the way, we're going to be, we are kicking off revisions to the state workforce plan, and that is going to be a process in and of itself, and our team is really already pouring a number of hours into that. I would also direct you to a policy that we issued, the WIOA Title I Program Eligibility Policy, so that you can make yourself aware of that as well. Any correspondence prior to the award of the grant, all questions, correspondence, etc., should be directed to that long email address below. That email address does go to a number of individuals, and so that one of us will get that information back to you. So again, thank you so much. I have heard some really incredible, potentially really incredible projects that local areas are looking at, taking to heart. I hope you do, because again, at the end of the day, this is not for a trophy. This is not just for funding. This is to drive the needle. This is to move the needle and drive solutions for adult learners in the state of Maryland. Maryland has had a fantastic track record on that with MyBest and with ACE, and I, for one, think we can do it again through the ingenuity and relationships that you all have formed in the local areas. So with that, go team. Thanks so much.